everybody? Welcome to Birds of the Roundtable. Today, we are holding an all-time worst Eagles of all-time draft. It'll be a snake-style draft. We got 10 positions, 1 flex, and it's going to be kind of a celebration of all the years of suffering and pain as we kind of muddle through Eagles off season, man. Is it Eagles season yet? Not yet. We're just a little over a month away. Joining me, he is Ryan Reese. Go give him a shout out on Twitter at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. Ready to cry on the inside after saying some of these things who have caused me much heartbreak over the years. So I'm going to break out the tissues when we're all done here. Let me tell you.
I will say that when I first started my list over the weekend, it just continued to add and add and add. There's a long list here of guys that we spent way too much time on. Also joining us, he is Shane. Go give him a shout out at Shane Half NFL. What's good, Shane?
What's up, Dives? I just want to say I cannot wait to have real football games to talk about. So shout out to everybody listening as we reminisce our way through horrible Eagles players. Man, I cannot wait to talk about a week 1 game in Brazil. Bring me September, please.
You say that now, but there's going to be more analysis in this Eagles season than ever with the defense and the young players and Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts and Pistol and everything. You say that now, but you're going to be flat out exhausted by week 4. We all know it. Also joining us is David at PHL Eagles News. What's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm ready to discuss all of the players that caused us to only have one of these. So
and no hair. Except for Shane.
I still have
Ryan has hair. Ryan has hair.
Yeah, what the hell?
Hey. All right. Much less over last week after the beatdown I gave him in our recent draft. I will add. So shout out to Phil, who is winning our draft from last week. We held a fictional TV and movie football character draft that's dead on Twitter. It ended 50-50 between me and Phil on Twitter, but it's still live on YouTube. Just go to EOP YouTube, go to the community tab, vote for your favorite team. It's all there, but it's almost wrapping up. Phil has just a little bit of a lead, but let's roll into the draft here tonight, guys. If you're watching us live, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button wherever you're watching. It's going to be a lot of fun, and talk trash on all of our picks. Let us know what picks you like, what picks you don't like. Let's roll on and see who gets the number 1 selection this evening. I don't know if you want the number 1 overall selection. This is oh wow, Shane's gonna get the number 1 pick in this one.
I didn't want because I don't even know who to pick. Actually, I might know who to pick.
I think you have a good idea who to pick. What just happened?
Yeah, wait, were there 2 team Shanes?
Hold up. Hold up. We're going to redo that. What just happened?
I
don't know.
2 team Shanes.
All right. Redoing that. Wait, was there 2 team Shanes?
I don't know. When the show's not live anymore, I can skip back and find out for you.
All right. We're rapid fire here. All right. I'll take the number 2 pick. That's fine.
Oh, actually, hold on. I'm going to find out. I can skip back on the YouTube. I'm going to find out if there were 2
Find out
Shanes.
now, and then we'll redo it. Because if so, that's not fair.
Yeah, there were 2 team Shanes. There was a team David and a team Ryan. Dives, do you want to be the blue or the green team Shane?
No. We're going to redo this.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Production error. We're going to reset. We'll start over.
That's what happens when you do this live. Let's restart this. Here we go. All right. The number 1 pick in the 2024 worst Eagles team of all time goes to Ryan. All right.
I'm going to end up with the last pick now.
Ryan, you have the number 1 pick. Number 2 will go to David, seems like. All right. Next up, Shane, you get the last pick.
from first to last.
Shane, I think you want the last pick in this. I think you're good.
Yeah, I think you do. That's why I was happy getting the last pick the last time.
By the time we get to the second time it comes back to me, I might be out of players that I'm thinking of. So we'll see.
We'll see. All right. So, Ryan, you are on the clock here. The worst Eagles players draft of all time is officially open with the first overall selection. Team Ryan, you are on the clock.
Listen, I had said prior to this that I was unable to really do much prep work for this, so I am violently underwhelmed here. Man, there are so many crappy players.
Since we've already broken the fourth wall, and while we wait on Ryan to make his pick here, Dibes, close out that spreadsheet. It's going to drive me crazy that there's a green cell. There we go. Okay. We already broke the fourth wall with the respin, so I thought I'd just say it out loud. Okay, Ryan, did that buy you enough time?
No, but I'm just going to make a pick anyway. Listen, I think this personally was my least favorite draft pick of all time, and it didn't really necessarily have much to do with who we could have had, because everybody does that. I just look at where they were drafted and what they brought to the table, which was absolutely nothing. And his demise happened when his own mother was standing over him with an umbrella, blocking the sun from his from his face. And I'm going to go with J-Jaw.
Wow.
He was by far, I think, more than some of the others we're going to hear at the wide receiver position, the worst overall. And also because he was so highly drafted, he literally brought nothing to the table. Did not do a damn thing. So that's who I'm going with.
J-Jaw versus DK. I think going to be maybe a theme here tonight that we're going to be talking about quite a bit. J-Jaw number one overall is kind of shocking to me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. We'll get to that at the end of this. But David, you're on the clock.
I actually had our Thega Whiteside number one as well. For some of the same reasons.
Wow!
When I went to training camp and saw his mother holding the umbrella, I was out. I didn't care what he ever did on the field. I was out, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I couldn't stand him. But I'm going with Jalen Reagor just because of everything involved in it. The Justin Jefferson, just all of it. It is depressing. It is terrible, and there aren't many wide receivers left that are as horrible as the two we just mentioned. So I just figure I'll get him off the board.
You can never overstate the fact that the Eagles decided they did not need a slot receiver. They needed a deep threat. So they drafted a shorter, slower receiver than Justin Jefferson, who has still yet to have 1,000 yards in his entire career. And Justin Jefferson's been over 1,000 every single season, including last year when he missed 7 games. But we will always have that Jalen Reagor revenge game when he talked trash before the Eagles played the Vikings and he had 1 catch for 7 yards. We'll always have that revenge game.
All right. I am on the clock. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that J-Jaw was also number one on Team David. We have Phil in the house. Little Birdie said Ryan was bad-mouthing my team last night. I can neither conform nor deny.
I'll confirm it. I was doing it. What are you going to do about
it? Spit in your pizza.
All right. I am on the clock here. I think this is a slam dunk. One of the worst decisions Andy Reid has ever made. I'm going with the 26-year-old fireman. This guy was the oldest player taken in the first round of any NFL draft player since 1971. He was benched twice before he turned 28. He played 23 games over 2 seasons, 18 starts, and then he wound up in Miami and played a single game in 2013. The dude could not play. One of the worst Eagles ever. Give me Danny Watkins.
All right. Man, got to figure out where to go now. I'm going to go. There's so many bad players to choose from. I'll go to running back first here. In 2017, Eagles general manager Howie Roseman said this is a, quote, historic running back class.
I love it.
He would be right because it contained guys like Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, and James Conner. But the Eagles traded up in the draft to select the guy with first percentile weight and 0th percentile bench press and Donnell Pumphrey. And he literally never took a snap in a regular season game in his NFL career. I'll take Donnell Pumphrey at running back. I'm counting him because he was on the Eagles, even though he never took a snap in like his 3 seasons with the team or whatever. I think didn't he go to like the UFL or the CFL or something like that?
Something, yeah.
Yeah. Terrible.
Didn't do
Terrible.
very good there either.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber just hit his second home run tonight.
Let's go. June Schwarbs.
Okay, so that's my running back.
I love that pick, Shane. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to decide which way I want to go for my second pick because there's a couple of guys. There's like 8 guys that I'm pretty sure won't make it back to me, and that doesn't even logically work out. But I'm going to say no, I'm not going to say that one. Give me Andrew Sendejo at safety.
Wow.
Not only was he generally terrible, the most impactful thing he did in his season with the Eagles was putting Avonte Maddox in the hospital. And Avonte Maddox, I'm pretty sure that was the first time he was injured. And I don't think he's ever played like 6 games in a row without getting injured since. And I blame it all on Andrew Sendejo. So a huge net negative to the team. I'll take Andrew Sendejo at safety.
Great pick. He stunk, man. A little shocked at that pick too. Not this draft is not going the way I expected it to. This is a layup. I went recent. I'm a draft guy. I'm a draft sicko. So I'm always going to feel the pain with some really bad picks. So I'm going to go with one of the worst of all time. I'm going to go a little bit old school here. He was a guy that was taking over Warren Sapp, Ty Law, Derek Brooks, all guys that are now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Mike Mamula. He never played in a Pro Bowl. He played 5 NFL seasons, was basically a nobody, and one of the all-time combine warriors. Was it Ray Rhodes? I'm not sure. That selected him. I forget. But they just had those rose-colored glasses watching him do the bench press at the combine and just fell in love with the number 7 overall selection. So give me Mike Mamula here, going new school and old school with Danny Watkins and Mike Mamula in the trenches. That feels like Dives written all over it.
Yeah, that definitely feels like Dives written all over it, which is a terrible pick. So
I'm glad you mentioned for sure that he was a defensive lineman. I was using context clues and I plugged him in there, but I was about to Google to confirm.
Oh, wow.
All right, David, you are on the clock.
I did not even have Mamula on my list of 40.
Neither did I, buddy.
Neither did I, but I didn't even know who he was.
David, baby. Let's go.
He's one of how is he not on your list?
He had like 40 sacks.
He actually wasn't that bad.
The team was just terrible.
It was just the weight. It was the weight of everybody behind him, and then he was a first rounder. But if he would have been drafted in the second round, he would have been fine.
Yeah, I don't remember.
30
I just named you
31 and a half sacks. Derek Barnett
I
was
just
like
named
a word.
you 3 Hall of Famers, David. You just picked Jalen Reagor for the reason that Justin Jefferson went after Jalen Reagor. 3 guys.
Reagor is a way worse player than Mamula. he is a substantially worse player.
He has like 8 more sacks than Derek Barnett.
Yeah, he He wasn't as terrible as people make him out to be, but
Great.
yeah, I do agree his draft status kills him. But yeah, when you look at the draft, it's really bad. All right, so I am going with another first round bust of linebacker out of Louisville, Marcus Smith.
Oh,
He played 8 games as a rookie and miraculously ended up with no stats at all. Nothing. Zip, zilch. It was terrible. I don't even think the Eagles wanted him. I think it was kind of one of those deals that somebody fell to him. They took him, kind of like what happened with another guy who will go high tonight, Andre Dillard. It was very similar to that. So give me first round bust, Marcus Smith.
great selection.
Can you imagine being that bad and then skipping OTAs?
No. No. Can I have him at outside linebacker?
Yeah, it was more of a it was a tweener, but yeah. Great pick, David. I was 1,000,000,000% going to select him next. Son of a bee sting. Okay. All right, back to the drawing board, I suppose. Ah, man. You know, I gotta say, man, I have a lot that are bad, but like I feel like a lot of them are personally like bad to me because for whatever reason they hurt me. So like I feel like, you know, again, I gotta play it cool here. Shit.
Cue the Jeopardy music, Shane.
I know, right? I'm so sorry. All right. Well, hey, I got 2 picks in a row. I'll make them back to back. You son of a. Okay. Good call. All right. I'm gonna go quarterback, and I'm gonna go with somebody that I personally absolutely hated, and it was Mark Sanchez. He came in and was just god awful. Obviously, in a more of a backup role, but unfortunately played a little bit too much for my liking. I just that's one of my personal ones where I just have to say it. Like, I hated this dude. I hope all bad things happen to Mark Sanchez.
Oh my God.
The butt fumble happened. It did.
It did. It absolutely did.
In New York.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna save my linebacker, but I'll go DT or defensive line, whatever we're calling it. Since David stole my pick, I'm gonna go with Jerome McDougal.
Nice.
For anybody who remembers him, he was infuriating. This again, another high pick who comes in and just couldn't get on the stat sheet. Honestly, like you almost threw quarterbacks at him and he still couldn't get sacks. Like, he was at that.
May I interject? Was he not shot like in a drive-by or something?
At some point,
he was shot.
I don't know if it was before he had already started playing. Like,
Yeah, he was still on the Eagles though, right?
oh yeah, he was still on the Eagles, but it's not like it was a Brian Robinson Jr. where he got shot before he ever played. Like, he had played, sucked,
Okay.
got shot, still sucked. Like, so.
Well, I did not think getting shot would make someone a better football player. So
No, it definitely doesn't.
Well, we have irrefutable proof that it does not. So
yeah.
Just saying.
Jerome McDougal sounds like a character from Outlander.
And the worst part about Joe McDougal, like, he was coming into a defense that was basically set. Like, all the Eagles really needed from him was like solid production, and he couldn't do that. Like,
Not even just like
I
average.
believe didn't they trade up for him too?
I think so, from what I can recall. But yeah. Again, I just went back to back. Like, I hate the face type picks where like these guys just personally pissed me off.
Yeah. All right, David, where are you going?
Does Frank Gore count?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Dives would say yes.
I'm going Frank Gore then.
Forever Eagle Frank Gore.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to my strategy of having no stats.
I love it.
Right. One of the weirdest things that I can remember happening during the Chip Kelly era there was signing him, that not working, then pivoting to somebody else that'll be named later, probably a running back from Dallas. Absolutely terrible.
All right, I'm on the clock here. We're in round 3. I have a couple of names here that I'm going through. I got some things to think about.
Tough.
What?
This is hard.
It is hard. It's hard. I'm gonna go with a guy that I think was brought in to fulfill a role that he couldn't really provide. He was brought in as one of the best cornerbacks in football as part of that Legion of Boom defense. 6 years, $63 million. And then literally from the jump, could not stay on the field. Give me Byron Maxwell for my corner spot. He was just overmatched every single step of the way the second he put on an Eagles jersey.
Literally one of my least favorite Eagles of all time.
He sucks.
I could not stand that guy from the first snap I watched him play. So.
All right, Shane, you're up.
Okay, that puts me on the clock. For my next pick, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And so I'm going with my man, Nate Gary, a linebacker who was so bad. So bad that here we have him looking the wrong direction on a play entirely. I will never understand. Usually you take like a safety and move him to linebacker and like he's a good coverage guy that's bad against the run. No. Nate Gary was just bad. One of the worst players I've ever watched play football. So give me Nate Gary as my linebacker. And man, this having 2 in a row and I don't know what I'm talking about. It's kind of tough.
You got this, man.
Yeah. Give me Andre Dillard.
Nice.
Dude is drafted in the first round via a trade up. Right? Via a trade up. The Eagles traded up to get this guy. I would say they saved the Texans from themselves, but then the Texans drafted Titus Howard, and that didn't work out any better. But Andre Dillard lost his job to a 7th round pick who had never played football before. He got a chance to start last year with the Titans, and he allowed 12 sacks and 41 pressures while notching a 47 PFF pass blocking grade. And he was drafted as a guy that was a pass blocker with questions as a run blocker. One of the worst all-time Eagles first-round disasters ever. So I'll take Andre Dillard.
That's a really good one. I'm on the clock here. I went trenches, then I went big-time bust in the secondary. But looking at my squad, I have to address the skill position. You know, it's a have and have not league when it comes to quarterback. And I'm looking at the ones that are available. There are some guys that have won a lot of games in Philadelphia. Won initially and then went completely in the toilet the following season. But give me a guy like Clayton Thorson, who to this day is one of the worst draft picks I've ever seen by the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a 5th round pick in a draft. The Eagles only had 5 picks, and he was so bad that he didn't even make the team. He was by far the worst quarterback I've ever seen in a preseason for the Eagles. And I got like kind of David's thing here, literally 0 stats. And I don't think he could give any – he can't throw the ball. So I think what better candidate to have as my starting quarterback? David, you're up.
He was my number one or last place, however you say it. So I'm going to the defensive line, and I'm going to draft who I think was the worst selection during the Ray Rhodes era, and that was first-round pick John Harris out of UVA. He was a first-round pick that literally got traded away 12 months later to the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles just wanted to get him the heck off the team. I feel bad for a lot of these guys because I really don't think it's their fault. I think he was as surprised as anybody else watching the draft when he went in the first round. I don't think he had any intention of being drafted that high. So much like Danny Watkins, it's hard for me to blame it on the players, but hey, the Eagles have made some pretty bad ones.
Nice. All right. John Harris to Team David. What about you, Ryan? Back to back.
That's a good one. I was debating McDougal and Harris. Those were certainly my two there. All right, I'm gonna go with safety, and this one might hurt Dibes here, and that's only more reason why to select him right now, and that is former second rounder Jaquan Jarrett out of Temple. I mean, this guy was just so bad. Like he couldn't get on the field. They had such a huge need, and yet he still couldn't get on the field. He goes down. He managed his second season. He played 13 games, and he was released after the first game of his second season. Only 17 tackles, no other stats. 13 games.
Love it.
You got it down there, Q.
I feel like we're going to be talking about more second round safeties tonight.
Yeah, I had a few. I was like, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
All right, you're up, Brian.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna save running back.
I remember that pick too when they picked Jaquan Jarrett. I was like, ooh,
yeah, no,
even now, and I'm a Temple guy.
Yeah,
like I was literally doing the Cherry and the White fight dance or fight song dance last night on Party on Broad. I'm a Temple guy.
You certainly.
That Jaquan Jarrett, that was when I was covering the draft. I did not like that selection, man.
He was my number one safety on this as well.
Not mine. I had him on my board, but he's not mine.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
We have a comment here. Honorable mention: Jamean Brown, the guard that tackled Wentz against the Ravens.
Is that the guy's name? Because I feel like I remember tweeting that, and I can't find my tweet.
I'm not sure. I do not remember.
Yeah, I cannot honestly say I remember that one.
Mike Mamola and Todd Stinkston. Mike Mamola was taken in the second round. Todd Pinkston is
still available. Pinky is still available. All right, I'm going to go with my offensive line, and I'm going to go with somebody that was just, again, drafted, was absolutely horrible, and honestly provided nothing. He was a first rounder, and he started off amazing. He had I think first year he was an All-Pro, I believe, and then unfortunately, he didn't play another snap due to some suspension for illegal substances, and that's Bernard Williams, offensive lineman.
Interesting.
Tackle out of Georgia. Goes down as one of the absolute worst picks. He was suspended. And I think he was all rookie offensive tackle is what it was. And then he got suspended for marijuana. And I think he only got suspended for like 6 or 8 games or something like that. And then he got suspended again for the remainder of the season. Never played another snap after his rookie year. Got to be terrible. So.
All right. Bernard Williams to team Ryan. David, you are on the clock.
For my quarterback that can lead me to absolutely no wins, I went with Mike McMahon. He was so bad for Philly in 2005, he never played another snap for anyone else and spared us all of ugly football play for the rest of our lives. He had more interceptions than touchdowns while he was here. He only won, I believe it was 2 games as an Eagle. And that was the year coming right after them being in the Super Bowl. They had a pretty good team around the guy, and he couldn't do a damn thing with it. So give me Mike McMahon.
It's a really good pick. Mike McMahon to Team David. Danny Watkins was picked number 3 overall. Andre Dillard was in the 2nd round, I believe. Right?
Third
round.
It was the 2. It was.
Yeah, it was Shane's 3rd pick.
Danny. Oh, you mean in the draft?
Yeah.
I was gonna say no. He was a 1st round pick, guys. I took Donnell Pumphrey
and Deho and
Andrew Sendejo.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So it would have been 3rd or 4th.
All right. That means I'm up. All right. I'm up on
what I remember of Jamon Brown was the play where he was fixing his gloves while the play was going on.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
That's the play that I remember.
That is right. I cannot believe I forgot about that.
We're getting some comments. This is not worst Eagles players in the draft. This is a draft of the worst Eagles players of all time. I just want to make that clear. I think there's some confusion going on right now.
We're just selecting the worst Eagles players ever, basically.
Yep. All right. I'm on the clock here. Give me Todd Pinkston for my first wide receiver.
He said for my first wide receiver.
We all know what he's doing with the flex. We know it. Figured him out.
Todd Pinkston was god awful. He was our number 1 wide receiver for years. And he was kind of in that same pairing with James Thrash as one of the all-time worst receiving cores in Eagles history. I remember hoping that his size and length would translate, and all I can remember from him was him getting manhandled by the Panthers in the 2003 NFC Championship. Todd Pinkston was garbage. And everyone hates Todd Pinkston. So, Shane, you're on the clock.
You ever hear him talk, by the way? He had the absolutely funniest, but he talked like this, and like kind of like a little bit of Mike Tyson, but he was like, not so lispy, and I was out there, I was trying to catch the ball, and I just couldn't catch the ball. I don't know.
Oh my god!
Definitely make that a clip.
Yeah, we are definitely going to clip that
out. Immediate regret.
Every time somebody drops a pass this season, that's what I want to see on the Twitter feed.
There you go. We're going to be using that a lot.
All right, Shane, you're up.
All right. I'm going to go cornerback. Give me Orlando Scandrick.
Oh,
Todd,
one. I didn't even think about him.
Comes as a double agent from the Cowboys, not good enough to hack it on the Cowboys roster anymore. And they're like, hey, why don't you go sign with the Eagles? You can play bad for a couple weeks and they'll cut you. And then you can go on a Dallas Cowboy fans sports show, Skip Bayless, and start trash talking to the team because you're upset that they cut you. So Orlando Scandrick, since Byron Maxwell is gone, give me Orlando Scandrick.
I love that pick, man. He wasn't on my big board, but he should have been. That was a great pick.
Yeah, I forgot about him, honestly.
All right. I'm glad I got a good pick out of this draft.
Dude, you're Donnell Pumphrey and Nate Gary picks.
That's a really good, yeah.
Let's see. I am going to go to, man, I can't believe this person is still on the board. And we're doing the flex thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, give me a DeMarco Murray.
No!
Now that we're going to keep with the theme of Cowboys traders here. The Cowboys did it right. They ran DeMarco Murray into the ground, And then the Eagles went and signed him in the Chip Kelly master plan to trade away LaShawn McCoy for an average white linebacker. Murray averaged the lowest yards per carry by an Eagles running back with at least 175 carries in 30 years, all on that big deal before the Eagles shipped him out of town. So DeMarco Murray for my flex.
All right, that was going to be my next selection. Well done.
That was a good one.
I wanted him penciled in as my running back. And that's why I didn't pick him earlier, because you already had Donnell. I thought I had a chance if I waited just a little bit, but that was a really great
board, by the way.
I'm running out of guys that I can actually talk about, and he was one of them.
But yeah, scratch. That is where I am going. We all have memories of the 2011 Dream Team, and Nnamdi Asomugha was the headline of that roster. He signed a 5-year, $60 million contract, 3-time All-Pro in Oakland. He was the guy and came to Philadelphia, literally got his money, pulled a Ben Simmons and said, I'm out. And we never heard from him again. Literally had zero heart and did not have the want to. And what better player to put in my flex here as a guy that literally does not want to play football. Nnamdi Asomugha sucks.
Go on.
All right, David, you're on the clock.
All right, I'm going to. I guess I'll stick with corners since that's where everyone's going, and I'm not going to say he was one of the worst players at corner for the Eagles, but he definitely was one of the most irritating for me personally, who chose to go pick out sconces for his home as opposed to practice with the team. So give me cornerback Kerry Sconce Williams.
Kerry Williams, he was on my big board.
Damn, that was a good pick. David is snatching players out of from the air.
It won't matter. I'll still lose on YouTube, but
yeah.
David, you're crushing this. You have a great team so far.
All right, so just like David, yeah, I mean he's on my list, but that I am going to take a linebacker. But just like David, and his Frank Gore pick, I am also going to utilize the same mentality. I'm going to take a linebacker that, well, theoretically, he actually did sign a contract, but he never did make it that far. And that is Miles Jack, who decided to retire to become a plumber and then unretire and go back to the Steelers. Very quietly, I might add. And I was excited for Miles Jack to become a Philadelphia Eagle. So I was very disappointed when he decided to retire. And then I got even more pissed when all of a sudden he was on the freaking Steelers. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell?
Didn't he say he was prepping for The Walking Dead in case it happened in reality as well? Wasn't that him?
Yeah, I might have. He was.
I'm pretty sure it was.
He was obviously nuts.
Yeah.
So there is a Miles Jack. I'm going to go with listen, I'm going to go with the corner that a lot of people seem to be mentioning. And again, not only was he terrible as a Philadelphia Eagle, but he was so good in Oakland before he came over, and we gave him a boatload of money. And I don't think he earned 1% of it, and he was too busy sitting in his car, eating his lunch, and that's Nnamdi Asomugha.
He's already gone.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Not pay attention? Oh, wow. Look at me. I'm clearly not paying attention. My bad. I forget. The damn flex position is effing with me. All right. Well, listen, then I'm going to go with my personal least favorite running back. And that is Wendell Smallwood.
Oh, I like it.
This is a guy that I could not stand. And every single freaking year, he somehow made the roster, and we never did anything to get him off of the third running back position, and he just weaseled his way onto our roster every single year. Oh my God. Sorry. A lot of bad memories here. I hate Wendell Smallwood, and if I ever see him in the streets, I'm going to throat punch him. Yeah, I said it. Come at me, Smallwood. What you got, brother?
Good grief.
We have some comments here. Bradley Fletcher, Curtis Marsh, not taken just yet. No one has taken Casey Matthews. Scratch agrees Kerry Williams was terrible. Victor Cruz's career was built on the foundation of him beating Namdi at the line of scrimmage. DeMarco Murray was just selected by Shane. Sadly, I really wanted him on my team. And I believe, yes, Team David, you are on the clock.
All right. I'm going to just take a tight end because I really couldn't find hardly any that I really disliked. I thought it was one of the more difficult positions. So I found a guy who I have no memory of whatsoever. He was on the team for about a season and a half in 1998 and 1999. His name is Dietrich Gels.
What?
Yeah, I literally have no memory of him whatsoever. I went to those camps. I still have no memory of him. I have pictures of him and didn't know who he was. I don't know. So it was just a weird position. I don't really see many misses at that spot. So
interesting.
I actually sadly do remember him.
I don't.
And yeah, that was that. Wow, I cannot believe I hadn't thought about him for probably 20 years. And for whatever reason, that just brought back some terrible memories.
I think he caught a touchdown pass from Doug Peterson in 1999 when they were on the team together. I saw a clip of that, but
yeah.
I literally have no memory of him whatsoever.
That probably was like one of like 4 catches he ever made. So
yep. Yeah, I think I saw he had 14 total receptions, but most of them were with New England, not Philly. So yeah.
All right, I'm on the clock here. This is where it gets hard. So I need a running back, I need a tight end, I need a linebacker, and I need a safety. I feel like I have a lot of safeties on my big board. I can wait on that. And I already filled my flex. I'm just skimming my players available here. Bear with me here. I'm gonna go linebacker, and it's between 2 different guys, and I'm really struggling to decide who I go with. This is not easy when you're like doing this live.
yeah, somebody play that friggin' music. How do you friggin' like?
All right. I'm gonna do it. My selection here is going to be one of the. I want to make sure my hatred for Chip Kelly gets mentioned on my team because this is one of the worst decisions ever made by Chip Kelly. He traded the leading rusher in team history for a guy that looked best on Instagram photos. Like, remember the photo when he was like flexing in a waterfall and he would look jacked? And I remember getting all excited about him. Like, oh my God, we actually have a linebacker in Philadelphia. Kiko Alonso sucks. Sucks. Yeah. And we traded away LaShawn McCoy. He went there. He went to Buffalo, and he said some words, and we we're all pissed off. But my God, Kiko Alonso could not play football. That was a horrible trade. I need some sort of Chip Kelly sucks on my team. Give me Kiko Alonso.
I can confirm, dude was massively jacked. And yes, this is the greatest play he's ever made in his entire life. And we all
was a great one.
We all thought, oh my! Me personally, the guy who loves freaking linebackers, thought, oh my god, we finally have one. We finally have a linebacker. But it was all smoke and mirrors. But I did meet him prior to the season with Ertz, who I guess they were pretty good friends. Dude was like wearing like a cutoff and was like, he made Ertz look like a high schooler. Like it was unbelievable how jacked he was.
When that was week 1, he made that interception. I think when that first quarter, week 1, I was like, holy crap, Chip Kelly's a genius.
I know.
Yeah. Bills fans thought so too. Almost every Bills fan hated that trade. They hated losing him for Shady.
Yeah.
He had such a great rookie season.
Well, Ryan took, with the first pick of the draft, he took wide receiver J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I'm going to take tight end J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
No!
The attempted move to tight end did not work.
He did try.
No, because I wanted to move J. John to tight end and draft another wide receiver.
Okay, it was worth a shot. I didn't think you'd let me get away with it, but I was going to try anyways. Give me... what if a player played a position after they left Philadelphia? Can I use them there? No? I need an official ruling on that. No? Okay.
No.
I think Ryan just has a vested interest in this. Well, I'm going to go to wide receiver then. Give me Dorial Green-Beckham.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Dorial Green. I remember I wasn't like, so I watched him play at Missouri. That was Big 12 back then. I watched him play at Missouri. He was a freak athlete. When we got him for what we got him from Tennessee, I was like cautiously optimistic. I knew there was a reason Tennessee was getting rid of him, but I was still a little bit excited. And then he came in and had a 15% drop rate on a team with no wide receivers. And then he got cut and never played in the league again. So Dorial Green-Beckham at wide receiver. And then I'll go to defensive line. Give me Robert Quinn.
I like that pick.
Howie making moves at the trade deadline has got to stop. He's a wizard in the offseason. He just needs to stay in the offseason, stay in his lane. Traded a 4th-round pick for Robert Quinn at the trade deadline. He was with the Eagles for 14 games, and he had 0 sacks and 3 tackles in 14 games. That season, he was the 90th overall graded edge by PFF out of 93 qualifying edge rushers. So literally one of the worst players in the league that Howie saw and was like, we need that to go win the Super Bowl. So Robert Quinn on the defensive line.
All right, we're wrapping it up here. I will go. I'm going to address the safety position, and I'm going to go with yet another 2nd-round pick. And he's a guy that tore his Achilles during his pro day workout. And we were all excited about his potential in Philadelphia. Give me Sidney Jones.
Wasn't a safety.
What?
He wasn't a safety.
Sidney Jones wasn't a safety?
No.
He was not play safety for the Eagles.
All right.
To be fair, he didn't play much of anything for the Eagles, but
my bad. I wrote him down as a safety. That's my fault.
David, pull the Minnesota Vikings and steal the pick.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a second as I readjust. I will go another 2nd-round pick. Did nothing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me Nate Allen.
I figured that you would go there eventually after you said your 2nd-round thing.
There's so many bad secondaries.
No, really well.
Nate Allen was meant to be the guy and develop, but never amounted to anything.
I mean, he wasn't.
This Kurt Coleman was a hate the face, but
I
I
hate
never
it.
because he's the Ohio State hate the face, but I personally never saw that. David, you're on the clock.
I'm going to fill my flex spot with the best skier ever drafted in the NFL. Jeremy Bloom. He never played a single game in the NFL, much like Donnell Pumphrey. His sister ran an illegal poker game for A-list celebrities that brought down lots of people. Fantastic movie. Molly's
Great movie.
What? Wait,
That's such a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely great film.
Wait,
Guys,
hold on.
have you not seen that?
No, can we go back? Wait, what?
Go watch the movie Molly's Game and report back to us next week.
Yeah,
It's
that
an
was
incredible
Jeremy's
movie.
sister.
No fucking way.
Absolutely. Sure was.
How did I not know that?
I didn't. To be fair, I didn't know who Jeremy
It's
Bloom
hard.
is, anyways. But
it's easy to miss. To be perfectly honest.
They were both like skiers for the Olympic level skiers. I mean, they were both phenomenal.
That's amazing.
They should have stuck to it. They both failed miserably at their other endeavor.
Patrick Chung was a great pick, a guy that came to Philly, expected to be the guy, sucked, and then went back to New England and then won, I think, 3 Super Bowls as the starter. Sean Considine, another great pick. Blaine Bishop sucks. Man, brutal. Golden Tate, if you're looking for a flex, a guy that was the Eagles kind of.
Hey, he did catch a touchdown in the playoffs that pulled out a game.
But he
for
was
them.
not nearly remotely close to the guy they were hoping.
Right.
To be. All right, Ryan, back to back.
All right, let's see. What do I need? I need a corner, flex, and a 10. All right, so corner, I'm gonna go with a guy that we traded for, and this was a guy that all Eagles fans wanted. And he came in at the cornerback position and just was horrendously disappointing. And I know there might be worse corners out there, but again, this is more of a personal thing of hate. But I'm going to go with DRC. We traded from the Arizona, and just never admitted to anything, and just so disappointing. Yeah, I don't know, just one of those. I'll never get out of my head that I hated him. So
isn't he related to Isaiah Rodgers?
No, he was.
I hope not.
No.
I think he is. I'm pretty sure he is.
I mean, I knew he was related. I think he was. Isn't he related to?
He tweets about Isaiah Rodgers every week. I'm pretty sure they're family.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Okay. I thought he was related to Deion Sanders in some fashion. No?
I now Isaiah hates you. All right, move on to your next pick.
What? Wow, that hurts. All right, so I got flex, which I can probably just save and just pick the worst person remaining. I'm gonna go with a tight end on this, and this one, again,
Jack Stoll.
We saw that last year, Martian.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, I'm debating between Jack Stoll and this person who I'm actually going to take. Jack Stoll was a 6th rounder. A guy has a mullet. Like, what were we expecting? Nothing. He gave us nothing. We expected nothing. Now he's a giant. Get off my team. Yeah, James Casey's actually a good one, but I'm actually going to go with L.J. Smith.
Nice.
And it's because Jason Witten was sitting there from Tennessee. And the whole time at that draft, I remember screaming at the computer, draft Jason Witten. We need a tight end. Witten's there. Witten. And we go ahead and draft L.J. Smith. Witten goes, a few picks later, obviously goes on to torment Eagles fans. Had a great career. And, I'll never forget that moment, unfortunately. So that's why L.J. Smith is my tight end.
L.J. Smith, the ultimate OTAs, like mini camp, training
Oh
camp.
yeah, he was definitely
Looked great in a jersey. He looked like a football player. Never produced on the field, man, ever. I like that selection. I'm interested to see how people vote for that. I don't know how he was on my big board, but I was uneasy about that, and I think I have a better tight end.
I mean, there are certainly ones that I think are worse by far, but I don't know.
But I don't know if people know who he is for that reason. But David, you're on the clock.
I'm going to pick my safety. I didn't really have as many as you guys did. I've heard y'all say y'all had a lot of safeties, but I didn't have that many. I went with a guy who had a really good career, was an all-pro player a year before the Eagles got him, but he was at the end. I believe he played with the Eagles for about a dozen games and then retired. Blaine Bishop.
Oh,
nice.
He just never, he was just done. He was drafted in 1993 and he didn't get to the Eagles until 2002. It was just time.
He was done. Yeah, that's a good one. Forgot about him.
Good player, but just not with the Eagles. Earl Wolf, yeah.
That's a good one too. Since everybody has their safety and flex position, I am confident in also saying the one player that I had circled on my safety board was Macho Harris.
Me too. He was next.
Yeah, he was next for me.
I picked Andrew Sendejo with the second round because I could say something funny about Avonte Maddox, and also I didn't know any other safeties. So
Earl Wolf was highly thought of by Dawkins too. Dawkins loved that pick.
Brian says Brian Matthews, fumble master, could not watch him carry the ball. Kevin Byard. That's a good one. Byard never did anything.
Great one. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great.
Hey, listen, he wasn't good, but he didn't suck.
Yeah, that defense.
How many games did he play with the Eagles?
It's like 6.
Yeah, they won one. Yeah, of those. Those games.
I think now is the time. So before we went live, I wanted to bring up the flex with not necessarily having to be a player. I was totally going to go Matt Patricia for my roster.
Of course you were.
We know. I called it. Didn't I say you're going to call some
Ryan fucking knows me too well, and I
love that. I've done a few too many drafts with you,
buddy. Hot take. Kevin Byard was a better safety last year than Reed Blankenship.
Wow.
Oh man, that's hard to do. They were all bad.
How dare you sully the name of Ed Reed Blankenship?
I don't think either of them were bad. I think they were both average-ish, but I think Kevin Byard gets way too much hate.
That's actually really funny. I felt dirty about it.
Kavon Wallace is who the Clemson safety.
That's right, Kavon Wallace.
That's a really good
every
one.
year he was supposed to do something.
He was going to be the next Malcolm Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm on the clock. In the tradition of picking draft picks that everyone has forgotten, guys that were taken high and guys that were, expected to take a role on this team. My tight end here, I believe he was from Florida, Cornelius Ingram. He was picked by the Eagles on day 2. Massive athlete, great size, great tools. Amounted to nothing, literally nothing. And I guarantee you, nobody remembers who Cornelius Ingram was. And he was major bust. I
can say the name is familiar, but yeah, I can't picture anything else.
And is that not a worst Eagles of all time pick?
I have no memory of him whatsoever. What year was that?
It was pretty recent. It was like Chip Kelly-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say mid 2000s.
That's terrible.
All right. Well, I've got to give a shout out to chat here.
2009.
I've got to give a shout out to chat with my next pick because I didn't have anything for tight end. So I'll go James Casey. Chat mentioned him. I Googled him. It appears that he played in 31 games and had 6 receptions at tight end for the Eagles. So we'll go James Casey.
He was that bad?
Yes.
He came over from Houston like an all-pro the year before.
He only had 330 yards the year before in Houston.
Yeah, they use him as a fullback-ish kind of halfback kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's also true. Oh man, that's good. I will say, the other tight end I had was Clay Harbor, and then Jeff Thomason, who was drafted in the 80s.
I almost said Tyree Jackson just because I got so sick of people being so hyped for him just to get hurt every year and never play. But
hi, how you doing? I literally went down to a NovaCare practice and saw that man abuse every single other person and just towered over every other person. And he literally looked like the next coming, like as if LeBron James himself turned into a tight end and was dominating. And then just kept getting hurt, couldn't get on the field. And
the other guy you mentioned, Jeff Thomason, he's one of the greatest stories in Eagles history, how the tight end gets hurt in the championship game, in the 2004 championship game that the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. What was that tight end's name? Chad Lewis, right? He gets hurt, breaks his ankle or something.
Yeah.
Jeff Thomason is driving a truck, and they call him, and he ends up playing 2 weeks later in a Super Bowl. I mean, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's a really cool story. But
that is my next pick, Brian.
Hey.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
you can't take an OL.
Right. Shane, also, Vince Young is on the board.
Yeah, I know. That's who I'm going to take.
Oh, nice.
I put quarterback off because there was a lot of quarterbacks. So I want to give some honorable mention shout outs to Tim Tebow, to Matt Barkley, who famously got in a fight with Jimmy Kimsky on Reddit before ending his Eagles career. Do you guys know that story?
Yes.
I've heard of that.
So apparently you can go look this up. I've heard Jimmy talk about it on a podcast before, but Jimmy Kimsky took a video of a pass in training camp, and he put it in an article and basically was questioning Matt Barkley's arm, his velocity. And somebody posted it on Reddit. And apparently Matt Barkley was perusing Eagles Reddit and came across it and started talking trash to Jimmy Kimsky and was like, you don't know what the route was. You don't know what the coverage was. He's like, if you think I can't throw it hard enough, how about you show up to the NovaCare tomorrow and find out? And so he got
basically find a new slant.
Yeah, basically. But I'm going to go with Vince Young. I mean, you make the dream team statement, you sit on the bench half a year, and then you get 3 starts and you throw 9 interceptions. He had a 60.8 QB rating that was 43rd in the NFL that season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's 32 teams. He was also the first Eagles quarterback to throw fewer than 150 passes and 9 or more interceptions in 45 years. And nobody since has done it either. So we're up to well over 60 years now, 60 plus years. So Vince Young is going to be my quarterback, but there's some great options for a team that's a QB factory. There's a lot of great options.
Yeah. Bobby Hoyen, Ken O'Brien.
Let's go through our remaining big board at the end.
Yeah.
I have so many names. Names.
Same.
All right. I'm just going to wrap it up quick. Give me Tony Hunt for my running back. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Eagles. He has 14 career rushing attempts, 25 yards. He was released in his 2nd season. I hated that pick when they made him. And I'm biased. I'm a Temple guy. I don't like Penn State, period. And I hated that pick when they made it. And he was just a bad player. And people were hyping him up at the time. I remember. Bad pick, Tony Hunt. David, you're up.
My OL, I went with Winston Justice. He gave up 9 sacks on Sunday night or Monday Night Football against OCU Menora. He even had the opposition feeling bad for him. Strahan, after the game, said that poor kid should have got some help. He probably just ruined his career. It was really bad. So I'll take the guy who gives up 9 sacks in a game to lead my team to victorless.
And then wrap it up, Brian.
Oh man, there's some choices here. I have. Do I go with someone I hate, or do I go with someone that was just bad?
I like the concept of filling your flex at the end. That's interesting.
Well, I figured, that's why I'm just going off of like who I think might be the worst here. But, I think I might, I think I might actually go ahead and take what I believe was an underratedly bad draft pick by Howie Roseman. And I believe it was 2016 in, again, the 6th round. So, like, whatever. The Eagles selected Blake Countess in the 6th round of that draft in the 16. And he got kicked off the team before the season. And eventually, I think came back 2 years later, I want to say, and got cut by the Eagles again. So yeah, he didn't actually manage to do anything. But we tried him at safety, corner, but we cut him twice, and he was god awful. And I don't know. I just think this is one of those underratedly bad draft picks that he literally just didn't even have a chance. So, like Countess.
All right. Before we get into grades, we're gonna talk about each team. Well, the person's team will grade their team, and then we'll have everyone else kind of throw out some trash talking. But before we move on, some other names: James Thrash, Bobby Hoying. No one threw him out. Kevin Cobb. Although they did move him for a 2nd round pick. One that I was debating taking was Matt McCoy, a linebacker. He got awful in coverage. Quez Watkins was a really good one that I was debating, but there's just too many wide receivers. Another one was Billy McMullen. Another LJ Smith, 6'4", the next TO that people were so excited about. Never produced on the football field. Josh Huff, 3rd round pick by Chip Kelly. Again, I wanted my team to be represented by Chip Kelly. Josh Huff stinks. Stacey Andrews signed a big contract, with the Philadelphia Eagles. Never amounted to anything. Mark Semino, Matt Ware, Broderick Bunkley, Chris Gokong. Remember Chris Gokong?
Oh, sadly.
They tried to transition him to linebacker.
He was our best linebacker at the time. Are you kidding me? Of course I remember him.
He was terrible. Bradley Fletcher, Nate Wayne, Victor Abiamiri was a completely forgettable player. My last one I want to throw out is LJ Fort, who did nothing for the Eagles and then went to Baltimore and became a legit NFL player.
It was Pittsburgh, then us, then Baltimore. LJ
Fort was a great player, but did nothing for the Eagles. And then Jonathan Cyprien. I don't know if anybody.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Cyprien. Yeah, absolutely. Safety from Central Florida.
Yeah, it was definitely a Florida team. My God, there's so many. Anybody else have any names they want to throw out?
Casey Matthews.
Yeah, Casey Matthews. I got some wide receivers. Bryce Treggs, Brown, as I call him. Alex Van Dyke. Probably never heard of him. Freddie Solomon.
All right, we have some comments here coming. Keep going, Ron.
Brown is a good one. But there's one a wide receiver. I remember the name because I remember I could never pronounce it, but it's Saya Ajurujuju. I don't know even how to pronounce it, spell it. But he was god awful. Let's see. I have Elijah Holyfield for running back. Remember, everybody was like, "Oh, Elijah Holyfield." He sucked. Quentin Carver, linebacker. It was a personal worst favorite of mine. Barry Gardner, speaking of another linebackers. Alex Henry, if you were looking for special teams, a kicker.
Chris Bonio.
Yeah.
He was absolutely horrible. Another Dallas retread that blew up in
the face. He sucked.
Can we throw out Nate Aloha out of Hawaii? Remember, like, he was a Hawaii, like, everybody loved him. He was like one of those like training camp darlings. Very fun pick. But
Poku, that's a good one.
King Dunlap. We have another mention, Miles Austin. We have
he deserved to be on somebody.
Nate Brown is a really good one.
I just
did you?
I said Brown because I call him Brown. Nah, man, he's not good.
Taylor Hart, Reggie Brown downtown.
Reggie Brown wasn't that bad. Like, he was bad, but he wasn't like top 10 bad.
Alex Henry was so bad because they used a 4th-round pick on him. I mean, that's just terrible.
Terrible.
All right, Shane has to go soon. Shane, what do you think about your team grades?
I think my team is terrible, and I give it an F because I would hate having to watch any of these guys play football. But I am happy that I made it through this draft, and I only drafted one person who I didn't actually watch play. So I fared better than I thought I would. I thought that you guys went back a little further, and I was afraid I was going to run out of the recent guys I actually knew. So I'm pleased with how my team turned out. It may not stack up well to y'all's, but I'm pretty happy with it, especially getting Vince Young at the last round there.
I think your team's going to do really well with the recent vote.
I'm gonna get the recency bias because those are the only guys that I know. It wasn't pandering for the votes. It's just that's who I know. So
yeah.
No, I definitely think you're gonna get the recency vote.
Oh, Team Jordan, Jesus, Brian Pumper is pumping out some freaking terrible names there. Please stop. I'm gonna start crying.
Jordan. Shane wins. His team is nasty. Robert Quinn was awful. Andre, this is a very top to bottom solid group. I give this a solid A-. Anybody have thoughts on Shane's team?
Well, I agree. I give it an F- is what we really want to go for.
All right, I guess we're doing it reverse.
It's really good.
Listen, I think your Donnell Pumphrey pick is fantastic. You absolutely nailed that one. James Casey was I didn't remember being as bad as he truly was. Nate Geary was the most infuriating linebacker I think I can remember in recent years. And Orlando Scandrick was just a scumbag. Zendejo just honestly, I don't even want to start talking about these people because then I bring up all the memories.
Scandrick was the best pick Shane made all night.
That was a great pick. That was the Terry Tate of
wow.
It's a great, terrible pick.
I'll go that far.
Yeah, I really wanted. I'll bump it up to an A because I wanted Nate Geary. I didn't know Shane was going to go Nate Geary there.
He was. I didn't know a lot of linebackers either, but I knew the picture, the wrong way Nate picture.
Yeah,
I could not get it out of my head.
So I had the 3rd pick. Shane had the 4th pick, and he was in conversation for my number 1 pick. That's how much I hate Nate Geary. Yeah. So that was a great pick. All right.
You go.
All right. I'm up. Guys, keep the comments coming. Please be sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I have Clayton Thorson, by far the worst quarterback on this list.
That was your best pick of the night.
My skill position players are god awful. Cornelius Ingram, Tony Hunt, Todd Pinkston, just god awful. And Danny Watkins is a fireman. Is not a football player. Kiko, I had to take Kiko because I hate Chip Kelly. There's with the fire of 1,000 suns, and I miss Shady McCoy infinitely. Nate Allen, Namdi were great picks. I thought Byron Maxwell was a very value pick. I'm surprised he fell to me there in the 3rd or 4th round. Byron Maxwell was a terrible, terrible player. The wrong pick for was that Howie? I'm pretty sure that was Howie at the time.
That was Howie.
Yeah, and just one of the worst misses by Howie Roseman.
He somehow traded him in the Wentz deal to move up.
I'm a little hesitant about Mike Mamula. I thought Mike was one of the worst of all time, and you guys were pretty high on him. So that's kind of like taking me back a little bit.
I just think he gets a bad rap. That's all.
He was the best of a bad team. I mean, it's not like he was great, but
well, right. He didn't amass 100 sacks, but again, it's not like he didn't do anything like some of these players we have.
Yeah. So overall, I give it a B. And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's pretty bad. Clayton Thorson alone guarantees you win no games. So I mean, that's pretty valuable.
Yeah, you definitely. Again, this is really hard to kind of differentiate because they all are just really shitty in their own unique way.
I mean,
it depends on your memories. You know what I mean? Like certain people anger me a lot more than others, but I
literally don't have an offense. Like Clayton Thorson, Tony Hunt, and Cornelius Ingram and Danny Watkins were out of the league within 3 years.
Yeah. You have the only quarterback who never played an NFL snap. I mean, that kind of almost wins this. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I have no offense.
I should have took Tebow to compete with that. He would have got hate votes. That would have been the pander vote.
No, because people love Tim Tebow. That's
also true. There's very 50-50 hate.
He's extremely polarizing.
Yeah. All right, David, what do you think about your team?
I hate all but like 3 players on my team, so that's good news for me. Three of them, I think they were bad just by not their fault. They shouldn't have been first round picks or etc. But yeah, I mean, on a 17 game season, I could see a 1-16, 2-15 outcome with this. So yeah, I give it a solid B+ for bad.
All right. I love your Jalen Reagor and Marcus Smith selections. Winston Justice was one of the better late round value picks in this draft, especially Jeremy Bloom with the movie recommendation. I'm going to have to watch Molly's game.
You really do need to watch that movie.
I know. I'm off work until like 2 weeks from now. So
yeah, it's good. Good
I'm
film.
definitely going to check that out.
And watch the program too.
Yeah.
He's going to watch Remember the Titans again.
Yeah, I will for the 20th time. But Frank Gore came out of left field.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a great pick. I think people are going to see that and laugh, and you're going to get votes. Anybody else have thoughts?
Yeah, it's a really shitty team. The tight end one, was a good pull. Like I completely forgot about him. John Harris, I thought an absolute underrated pick. You stole Marcus Smith from me. I absolutely was going to take him in my next pick. Like I had the words already, coming out my mouth, and you took them. So,
if I had this to do over, I would have done all Dallas retreads like Miles Austin, Scandrick.
Nice, that's good.
Yep.
Damn.
All right. Anybody else have any thoughts? And we'll move on to how about this comment? Jordan Davis will be on.
That's messed up, Roof. That's messed up, Rufus.
I mean,
not on my list.
I think that's insane.
Yeah, not on my list.
No.
Ryan, tell us about your team.
All right. Well, listen, I love my my crappy offense. Mark Sanchez was such a terrible quarterback. The butt fumble will live in infamy. And Wendell Smallwood, that was just me personally. I hated this man, as obviously I'm sure somebody will clip out the 30-second rant that I went on. And I hope somebody clips it and tags his ass in it, because bring it, Smallwood. You ain't got nothing. J-Ball, I mean, come on. What a great first pick. Bernard Williams, again, an underrated, really, really crappy offensive line pick. McDougal out of Miami sucked. Miles Jacks never played with us. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie was underwhelming. Jaquan Jarrett did Temple dirty. And Blake Countess was so bad we cut him twice. So
Can you get an umbrella emoji to put next to J-Jaw so I can hate it even more?
Yeah, right. Please.
That was definitely the greatest pick of the night.
I love it. That's awesome.
I absolutely detest him. Yeah, that was a great pick.
Yeah, I just went with hate. That's really what
I want. I'll go first, I guess. I think this is a really great team. The Jaquan Jarrett pick was great, and I had him really high on my list because I wanted a Temple guy. awful football player. As you look at my list, like I look for guys that like literally stop playing within the first contract. And Jaquan Jarrett was bad. Jerome McDougal was a great pick. I was a little surprised about J-Jaw. I didn't think he had that much hate. I get it for sure, but my goodness, the Miles Jack pick was a really underrated selection. Because I remember like going live with you and talking about Miles Jack.
You were excited.
You're being very excited about it. And he did
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, Mark Semino, we brought him up
That's a good one.
earlier, but I give this a solid A-. Anybody else have thoughts?
I agree. It's really bad. Mark Sanchez, he gets bonus points for after every victory going to like Geno's and saying it was the best cheesesteak in Philly. That's enough reason to lose right there.
Wait. Is that serious?
Yeah, Google it. He posted videos of it. It's terrible.
Geno's is the best cheesesteak in Philly.
I think I just won. What kind of animal says that?
He signed a bunch of autographs there. People loved it. They'd start going there after the game.
That is the definition of fraud.
Yeah, that's when you take out of towners. And
no, I would never take an out of towner ever. Ever.
I mean,
ever.
Yeah, people that you liked, sure.
No, there's so many better places like Jim's or Angelo's or like
But that's all out of towners now.
My gosh, that's bad. I didn't even know that.
So is that what we're doing next week? A cheesesteak draft?
Ooh, let's go. I can definitely mess with
Ryan. We would have to do like a taste test and like do.
Okay. Darn.
Well, I haven't been in Philly in a while, so there was a time when I could do that, but not now.
Well, come on now. We'll cheesesteak our way through Philly.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's throw it around the horn. Guys, last notification about this. We will be throwing this to Twitter and YouTube to be voted. It will be Team Ryan versus Team David in round 1, and then Team myself versus Team Shane. And then the winners will play each other for the worst of the worst when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's throw it to David first. Plugs, final thoughts. Is it football season yet? I'm ready to talk.
Do we want the most votes or the least votes to move on?
That's a good question. That's a great question. Whatever I get is what.
That's the answer, huh?
That's so funny. John's roast pork. I would go Tommy Dinnick. Tommy Dinnick's is number 1.
John's is fantastic.
John's is so good. John's is so good. But if you ever been to Tommy Dinnick's sandwiches are so good, you take one bite and you just sit down. You have to like your legs go dead.
There's actually one. Good. There's one that just popped up within the last few years around me here. That's getting a lot of heat. And for the life of me, now I'm completely drawing a blank.
John's roast pork or Tommy Dinnick's?
No, as far as like a cheesesteak place. They had like a Gazzo's. I don't know if you ever heard of Gazzo's, but
no.
Yeah, it's rising up the rankings quickly.
I remember going to Angelo's to get their pizza and cheesesteak, and it's so popular because it was on Barstool. They only sell pizzas by the whole pie, and their cheesesteaks are like the best of the best. And I waited in line for over an hour, and it was legit good, man. But if you had to like hold a gun to my head, best cheesesteak in Philadelphia is Jim's. No question.
Agreed. That's my favorite as well.
Yep. All right.
Back to football.
Plugs time.
I released a story yesterday on Hertz, one about Nolan Smith today. So I saw some Nolan Smith slander on the comments earlier, but we're not having any of that. He's having a breakout season, guys. But you can follow everything at PHL Eagle News. Give everybody else here a follow. Give Ryan 2 follows. And vote for my terrible team. I think the most votes win, so vote.
Yeah, the most votes will win. That was a really funny comment. This isn't golf. Alvarado is in, and there's a runner on second here for the Philadelphia Phillies. They're up 4-1. I think it's the 9th. But anyway, Ryan, throw it to you, man. Plugs. Time's yours.
Yeah, you can check me all over Edge of Philly Sports Mondays, 6 o'clock, Football Smack Talk Show, 9 o'clock, with Party on Broad with this guy down there, and our good buddy Rob. And then, of course, the best Eagles show that you're going to find out there, Birds of the Roundtable, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Other than that, I'm around. You can hit me up on Twitter. Make sure you follow this guy, all the guys. And obviously you need to vote for me because
the person I'm hoping hits you up is Smallwood. I'm really looking forward to
good.
it.
I hope so. Because I have no shame. I will FaceTime him and tell him how bad he sucks. Happy when he went to Washington.
Rufus says this is a great show, keeping me sane between these and the GOAT Shane's podcast. Y'all are the best in the city. Thank you, man. That means the world to us. Do the most heartbreaking Eagles moments of all time, dude.
Are you trying to kill us?
I literally. So if you go to YouTube and search worst Philly moments of all time, I literally did that.
No, why would you do that? Why?
I don't know, because I'm sick.
I have a top 10 list too. It's really bad.
I'm sick, and yeah, I've done that, so it's already out. But anyway, I would be so down to do that, and then Smallwood knocks you clean, right?
Please.
Anyway,
I'm actually he's like 300 pounds. Get out of here.
Oh my Lord.
So we are wrapping up NBA draft coverage tomorrow. I'll be doing a show with Sean Bernard at noon, breaking down prospects number 6 through 10. We did 1 through 5 a couple weeks ago, and then we'll be doing an NBA draft watch party with some of the regular heads here in a couple of weeks. But I've been talking to Ryan. We're getting back into the NFL draft, doing an Eagles NFL draft weekly show in the near future, which will be weekly, probably Sundays, where we're just more so also focusing on a gambling aspect, more interactive fan aspect, which will be really fun because we've never really done that. If you watched our shows last year on Bleeding Green Nation, and the Phillies just won, good win for the Phillies. We did a gambling aspect, and what was really fun about that was we were consistently on point with all of our bets, all of our player predictions, everything. So we're gonna kind of double down on that this year. And me and Ryan are talking, and we're gonna have a guest and kind of do that in the direction there for our college football shows. So be on the lookout for that. And expect way more NFL draft coverage moving forward. I have focused the last month on the NBA draft. All those videos, I've covered over 30 guys on the NBA draft, and the views on those are crazy. I want to thank you, everyone, for watching. If you're a Sixers fan, I get it, man. They're trading the pick. But we will be doing an NBA draft show on the NBA draft, and it's what it is. I get why a lot of Sixers fans are kind of upset with them at the moment, but we're excited about the Eagles, and we're going to stick it to the Eagles. Birds of the Roundtable every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. If you have an idea for the show, let us know down in the comment section. We are now in the bare bones of the off season, where we're going to be just trying to make up ideas and make it as interactive and fun as possible. I thought this would be fun, and I thought it was a great show. So again, thank you everyone for commenting. Be sure to check out Twitter and EOP Sports for your voting on YouTube and X. So for David, he is at PHL Eagle News. He is Ryan at Philly Sports PSA. I'm Dabs. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay awesome, everyone.